Welcome to Poetry Writing with Mr. Reynolds. Today's poetic form is called question poetry. Now, you may remember we talked about this on our questions unit, but I wanted just to remind you of the pattern that goes along with this. Remember, you're choosing a subject. It could be something in nature, it could be something in your house, something in your classroom, it could be something in your room. The idea is that you don't choose a person. You have to choose something that's not really a person that you can actually give person-like qualities to. And so it's going to be a 4-line poem, and so there'll be 4 lines in it. The first line is going to actually introduce that subject as kind of a introductory question, imagining that it is a human, giving it some sort of a characteristic or quality of a human. This is called personification. Whenever you give an inanimate object or something that's not a person the qualities of a person. Then you're going to ask some sensitive questions. Think about mood. Maybe you want the poem to be light and humorous, or maybe you're asking some serious, deep questions about this particular object. And so you could even change the mood. It could be a funny thing at one question, and then the next question might be a little bit more of a sad or noticing a pain or something along the way for that particular object and item that you're writing your poem about. And so you're going to do that, and then you're going to end with something that sounds like you're wrapping it all up. You've thought through all your questions, and now you're finished with your discussion with this particular item and object. So as you do this, you're going to remember that it is going to have a rhyming pattern. And so in the rhyming pattern, because there are 4 lines, then the rhyming pattern is A, B, B. What that means is the first and the second line will end with the same sound, so they will rhyme. And then the third and the fourth line will end with the same sound, not the same sound as the first two, but our own sound, and they will rhyme. So again, that rhyming pattern is A, B, B. And this is the rhyming pattern for a question poem. So let me give you a few examples that I have written for you this morning. Here's one called Water Drops. Do you enjoy flying and falling so fast? What does it feel like knowing your form won't last? Do you feel like it is useless to struggle against the wind? Do you feel like you are drowning when you are puddled with your friends? And so here we have fast and last, AA, and then winds and friends, BB. So that wraps up the poem. Here's another one called Blades of Grass. It is nice to be able to sleep all winter. No, let me ask that as a question. Is it nice to be able to sleep all winter? Does it feel good when through the ground you splinter? Do you like being used as clothes, food, or a roof of a hut? Does it hurt you much when you get a haircut? What does that last line make you picture? Did you think about mowing the yard? That was what I was thinking about when I wrote it. Here's the last one, trampoline. Do you like to hear all the kids laugh and scream? Does the stretching hurt you at your seam? Do you ever get tired of returning my bounce or catching me when my energy is at an ounce? Hopefully, you started to picture someone bouncing on a trampoline, because visualizing or picturing this poem in your head becomes a very important thing whenever you write. So use that visualization. So here are some examples for you to try. You could pick a rock. A question you might ask is, do you get tired of sitting there? What about car tires? Do you get tired of rolling along? Birds. Have you ever forgotten the words to your songs? A pool. I wonder if the ripples hurt. Airplane. What does it feel like to pass through the clouds? So you'll notice I asked the questions starting with different words. So don't be afraid to utilize different words in your questions, and enjoy coming up and creating some question poetry. So it's your turn. Pick some items, see if you can ask some questions that you might want to know about that item or that object. Give it some personal feeling, and then don't forget to share what you have written. Thank you, and enjoy creating writing.